I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do this.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Okay, it was already massacred beforehand, but you get the idea. I originally wasn't going to do a video about The Witcher Season 4 because I couldn't care less about it, to be honest, and it seems I'm not alone because I don't see anyone talking about it. So for those of you who don't know, Witcher Season 4 premiered on Netflix on October 30th, 2025 and blew all expectations out of the water.
Really?
Alright, I'm just kidding. Nobody watched it, and only a few days later, as of writing this, it seems everyone has forgotten all about it. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I didn't watch any episodes from Season 4 aside from the first one. I only watched the first episode because I wanted to see how the show was going to feel with Cavill's departure, and well...
That is one big pile of shit.
Brief recap of my experience with the Witcher franchise. I never played any of the games or read the books before the series. I started watching the series back in 2019 when it premiered because I was a huge fan of Henry Cavill and thought the idea of him being in a sword and sorcery type show would be cool. I really liked Season 1. It wasn't perfect and it was tough to follow along at times due to the different time jumps and timelines going on back and forth. But overall, I thought it was pretty entertaining and a great foundation for a new fantasy series. Season 2 was okayish for the most part in my opinion. It started out okay, then ended badly, and after Season 2 it was revealed that Henry Cavill was leaving the show with no reason as to why at the time. Later on we found out it was due to creative differences between him and the showrunner. With that development I lost all interest in the show and didn't even watch Season 3. Which then leads us to Season 4. After it was revealed that Cavill was departing, the team hired Liam Hemsworth to take his place as Geralt in Season 4, a move which didn't excite anybody for the most part. Let's just start here with the obvious. It's not Liam's fault. He's just an actor who took a job and is trying to make some money like anyone else, and I don't fault the man for that, but come on, dude. Let me just say this. I hope he got paid the world's biggest paycheck for this. No shade against Liam, like I said before, but I gotta say it. He literally is the Temu version of Geralt. Gone is the calm, stoic, grizzled, and calculated Henry Cavill Geralt, and now we have a guy who's pretending to be a calm, stoic badass whenever he's on screen for the little amount he is in his own damn show. If I had to give 1 ounce of praise for him, there is a cool fight scene near the beginning of episode 1 where he fights a monster that's somewhat cool, but is undercut at the end of the fight scene where I think they CGI'd Hemsworth's face over Cavill's. I'm not entirely sure, but when his face is revealed, it looks jarring to the eye, like you just know something's not right. Speaking of not looking right, are we just going to let slide that they totally neglected Cavill in the 2-minute recap of the series? There's a 2-minute recap talking about the previous seasons and you don't see Cavill's face or hear his voice at all. Make no mistake, they show footage of him, but it's always the back of his head or they cut away just before his face is shown. They even went so far as to reshoot scenes from the previous seasons and replace Cavill with Hemsworth, and man, it looks bad. Like, look at these two scene comparisons.
Showrunner of Sintra. His child was surprised. The completion of their family.
And I'm sorry about the quality of the Season 4 clips. For some reason I was having trouble downloading the episode and I had to film it with my phone, so just kind of bear with me with this part. Not that it makes any big a difference for this show to begin with. Just look at these two shots side by side. One looks like an actual production with lighting, shadows, you can see dirt and such on Cavill's face. Then you look over at the reshot scenes with Hemsworth and it looks like some dude just wandered off set to take a piss in the woods. Show this image to anyone and everyone will say that the image on the left looks far more intriguing and appealing. Oh, and then after they reshot the scenes, they decided to add this to the new scenes. Timu Geralt is only one thing that was very wrong with this show. The big thing that annoyed me the most from just this one episode and made me want to end it all was the inclusion of a group of characters called the Rats. Now I'm going to try to talk about this group without breaking out in extreme laughter, and guys, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to give it a shot. The Rats are a group of, multiracial characters which totally fit in the world of The Witcher, which is based on Polish mythology. A ragtag group of people who are outcast and have formed their own group, so to speak. That's basically that. They're outcasts, nobody wanted them, and so they created their own group. Alright, moving on. Just kidding, Sally. The Rats are probably the most useless group of people in any show or movie I've seen recently. All they are there for is for the show to tell the audience, hey, look, we care about diversity. Look at our cast on screen. All the members of the group are the modern stereotypes you have come to expect from modern Hollywood. You have the fat white guy who's shy, the brown sassy chick, the white woman who's just there, the white guy who's the creepy abuser, and the other white guy who's supposed to be the leader but doesn't want the job. And of course, as always, our favorite thing, the strong, empowered black girl who's actually the real leader. I can't express enough how unlikable these characters are, and I've just seen one episode. The worst thing about them is they all talk like modern day California, and man, it's bullets to the ears.
Seems like a good place to bed down for the night.
Sorry, can we just talk about what just fucking happened? That shit was mental. Did you see the way he stepped that geezer from behind?
I was too busy watching Ace break every ball he could find on their head.
Well, it's showing a wasting a ball.
No, best was Blondie toying with that bloke like a cat with a mouse.
Vicious. But she's better than any of this shit. Prettier too.
Please make it stop. The funniest thing in this episode, if you can call a situation like this funny, is when a particular scene happens where one of the rats does something to Siri that most people would call unredeemable. Long story short, Siri teams up with the rats because she's lost and she's trying to find herself. I am really sick and tired of this trope, but anyway, she's trying to find herself, I guess. Siri's in the back of a wagon with a creepy abusive rat, of course he's white, mentions he knows her secret and knows she's running from something and tries to force himself onto her. Can't say the actual word on YouTube, but you all know what I mean. Then the strong black leader girl steps in and stops him, then proceeds to do the exact same thing to Siri that the other guy was going to do. What? Guess the showrunner really wanted that romance subplot in there, huh? There's even another, SA scene near the end of the episode where a group of soldiers, and you guessed it, all white, try to SA a village girl, and Geralt has to step in and save her and kill them. Who also gets saved by a woman on his team, because of course, you can't hate modern Hollywood enough. I did read some spoilers, and apparently all the rats die near the end of the season, so I guess it ends on a high note. I just don't understand why any writer can look at these characters and think, ah yes, these are the types of characters the American public are so desperately waiting for. No wonder they had a whole spin-off series planned for them and then shrunk it down into a movie shortly after and quietly released it alongside season 4. Yeah, they know it's shit. There's more I could go in on with just this one episode, but I won't bother because you already know what to expect. Jasker is still annoying as hell and even has a musical scene, I guess, in a later episode I heard. Yennefer's, of course, the main focus, because why wouldn't she be? I could tell you her story and her journey she's supposed to take on, but nobody really cares. Thank the showrunner for that. Speaking of the showrunner, she is the whole reason this series has gone to shit. She's the main reason why Cavill left. You can tell from the video at the beginning of this video and other interviews with Cavill that things are not going along peacefully behind the scenes.
I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do this.
I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, like you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's
right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
You had an extremely popular actor that everyone loves and who he himself is a huge fan of the source material and wanted to do his best to adapt it right. You had that and decided he was too much of a hassle? For a decision like that, your show deserves to suffer. I honestly can't believe we still have one more season of this shit. Netflix should have pulled the plug when Cavill left. A couple days after the new season premiered, it was revealed that it was the lowest returning viewership of any of the previous seasons, half than what it was for season 3, which was already lower than season 2 before it. We all should have known something bad was going to happen when Cavill left, and even when one of the head writers from a previous season left, because he said that the showrunner and other writers were openly mocking the source material and saying they can do better. Yeah, how's that working out for you guys now? This is the show that the showrunner Lauren wanted to make. Strong, multiracial women, weak men, mainly white men, musicals, all different kinds of people living in harmony against the evil rich kings. The same old shit that every modern fantasy show has.
Some of these women, they're so stupid.
It's sad because watching season 1, the show had potential from the casting of Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer to the scenery setting, the look and feel of it. It looked promising, but at last, we should have known it was too good to be true. The Witcher is just another casualty of modern Hollywood. Dull, boring, and forgettable. It's time to let the show die and move on.